And you'd ask if you want to make a brief comment in response to Senator Blackburn's questions, you can. Then I've got questions for you.
Yes. You know, I'm a little bit surprised that radio is being demonized the way it is. I want to remind people that this ecosystem that we operate in has been working for both the radio industry and the music industry for 100 years.
As you're answering the question, can you give me a sense of what's different about Europe and the stressors that they have economically, and they're still achieving the reimbursement? What's different about the American terrestrial radio option and the European option where they seem to have resolved this issue?
Well, the first thing I would say to you is that radio stations in America are free, and we're part of a free market system. If you go to European countries and some of the countries that have been mentioned, radio stations are owned by the government. The relationship between the music industry and the radio industry has been fantastic, and it's worked beautifully for the years. You know, it's been said that the promotional angle that radio station provides to the recording industry is not there anymore. It's not important. If you allow me, I just want to read something that I received from a good friend of mine, Mike Biddle, who is the program director. He used to be my program director. He's now program director at WQDR in Raleigh, which is one of the legendary country music stations. I asked Mike last week, Mike, tell me what kind of contact you get on a week-to-week basis with the recording industry and music labels. And if you don't mind, I'd like to read a couple of lines from that email. 16, exclamation point. That's the number of record label representatives I've communicated with over the past 5 days. 4 of them are at the vice president level or higher. The reason? They want airplay from our radio stations. Based on the ratings research provided by Nielsen and Eastland, and I've done the math, our radio station alone can match the exposure of an artist a song gets with 30,000 streams in 1 week with just a handful of spins in primetime listening. And one other thing I'd like to respond to is the issue that Senator Blackburn brought up regarding her letter to the chairman of the FCC for Payola. First and foremost, I would say, in my experience, and I've been in this business a long time, Senator, I have never, my experience has been exactly the opposite of what you are describing. It's normally artists coming to radio stations wanting us to provide promotion for something that they're promoting with a relief concert or something. Just like happened with us after Hurricane Matthew, the Avett brothers came to us and said, will you help us promote a hurricane relief concert, which we did and raised $365,000. I can tell you this, that we take the issue of payola very seriously. NAB has a policy. We all follow it. We are very serious about following payola and not breaking any federal laws, especially that one.
Last question for you, or from me. Have you modeled what the economic impact would be on your stations, or has NAB done any modeling on what the economic impact would be on various stations if this bill is ratified?
Well, let me start with this, Senator. The radio industry is free over the air. When we hear about these other streaming services that are paying performers' rights, remember this, they can pass their fees on to
I get that. But I'm trying to get at is the economic impact. And what stimulated, this isn't from my staff notes.
Well, again, you and I have had this conversation before. What I think we should be advocating for is for Congress to take a look at the entire ecosystem.
Well, I got you.
All PROs.
But I'm just trying to get back to the NAB in particular. I wouldn't expect you and your radio station to have done some modeling about what the impact would be.
You're asking me for a percentage of how it would impact us?
I'm trying to get, we've already, there's a stipulation that some of the smaller market or college radio stations be either $100 or $500 impact. So I'm trying to get that's not a lot. It would have a de minimis impact in terms of performers' compensation. I'm just trying to get a sense of what this would represent to a radio station like yours that would not necessarily enjoy the carve-out or the exemption, roughly what it's going to cost. And I would assume you can just do a look back
I honestly
and determine.
don't know the answer to that question. It's going to be on a per-station basis.
Yeah. I think it'd be helpful, as we move forward to get, it would seem to me it'd be deterministic. You look back 12 months, look at what you played, and then determine if the law would pass, what it would be. But I think that'd be helpful for the record.
Well,
Mr. Huppy, do you have any insight on what? Well, here's the other thing when I'm talking with the NAB. They talk about bad actors. I'm not going to name three-letter players in this industry, but they talk about some other folks that are constantly breathing down the broadcasters' back. Are you sympathetic to any of that with some of the music distributors and the way that they're treated? Yours is a very different model, but I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, we're not in the radio promotion business, so I'm not as familiar with that, Mr. Chairman. I will say, in terms to answer to your last question, you asked about sort of modeling out. I will say, again, I share the respect for Mr. Hinton and the amazing network that he's built out, but 4 of his 5 stations would be eligible for the $500 a year carve-out. And the other comment, if I could, Mr. Chairman, there's a lot of talk about promotion here. The bill takes into account any promotion effect. If there truly is promotion, then I would suggest the broadcasters can put their money where their mouth is and recognize it will be a factor expressly considered by the people that set the rates for this. We could debate whether there's promotion or not. I mean, as you heard earlier, 85% of all revenue comes from streaming. I think you've heard Mr. Hinton say twice that they compete with those streaming platforms now. It's no longer about promotion, it's about competing. And one last point, Mr. Chairman, let's say there is promotion, hypothetically. I don't know why that should be a free ticket to take people's property with neither permission nor payment. Radio broadcasts Major League Baseball games. It is undoubtable that increases the promotion for baseball. It raises the value of the franchise. And no one for a minute would suspect or suggest that they don't get licensed by Major League Baseball. I don't know why music should be any different.
Thank you. My time is over. Before I recognize Senator Padilla, I think Beth was a good song. It was Peter Criss who sang leads, the drummer. Senator Padilla.